Right now, a dangerous storm train is locking into position across the United States, and it is not stopping for at least 7 straight days. Over 65 million Americans are in the direct path of severe thunderstorms, large hail, tornadoes, flash flooding, and an ice storm all happening at the same time across different parts of the country. If you live anywhere from Texas to Maine, this video is your survival guide for the next 7 to 10 days. And I promise you, by minute 5, I will break down the exact timing of when these storms hit your city, hour by hour, so you know precisely when to shelter and when you are safe. But first, let me show you why this storm train is unlike anything we have seen so far this year. Here is what is driving this entire event. A massive ridge of high pressure is pumping 80-degree spring heat as far north as the Ohio Valley and the Mid-Atlantic. That is 20 to 30 degrees above average for early March. At the same time, a series of powerful troughs, deep dips in the jet stream, are diving out of the Rockies one after another like a conveyor belt. When that extreme warmth from the south collides with cold air funneling down from Canada, the atmosphere becomes a powder keg. And this is not a one-day event. We are counting at least 4 separate rounds of severe weather from Wednesday through Saturday, and early signals show another major storm system forming around March 10th through the 15th. This is a storm train, and it is rolling right through the heart of America. Now, here is something most people do not realize. The first punch is actually winter weather, and it is happening right now. If you are in the Northeast or the Mid-Atlantic, do not skip this part because freezing rain and ice are already causing problems tonight and into Tuesday. Let me give you the exact breakdown, city by city. Tonight through Tuesday morning, winter weather advisories stretch from Virginia all the way up through Massachusetts. Winter storm warnings are in effect for the mountains of West Virginia. Here is your timing. Washington, D.C., expect a burst of snow and sleet Tuesday morning between 6 and 9 a.m., possibly 1 to 2 inches before a quick change to rain as warm air pushes in from the south. Baltimore, same window, 6 to 9 a.m., a wintry mix that transitions to rain by midday. Philadelphia, wintry mix between 7 and 10 a.m. Tuesday, mainly a nuisance, but roads will be slick during the morning commute. Harrisburg and State College, Pennsylvania, this is your danger zone for icing. Overnight tonight through the first half of Tuesday, a 1/10 to possibly a 1/4 inch of ice is expected. That is enough to make travel treacherous. Western Maryland and Northern Virginia, same icing threat overnight into Tuesday morning. Albany, New York, 1 to 2 inches of snow possible, but it melts fast once the rain arrives Tuesday afternoon. The Hudson Valley, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Connecticut, snow breaks out Tuesday afternoon around 3 p.m. and continues into the evening. Down East Maine, a solid shield of snow Tuesday evening, 1 to 3 inches for most, isolated spots pushing 4 to 5. The Interstate 81 corridor, the Interstate 95 corridor, and the Interstate 79 corridor are all going to be messy on Tuesday. If you are driving in those areas, slow down and leave extra space. But here is the twist. That winter weather is just the opening act. While the Northeast deals with ice and snow, a monster severe weather setup is loading up across the southern plains. And this is where it gets serious. Do not miss the next part because I am about to walk you through 4 straight days of severe storms. Wednesday, day 1 of the severe outbreak. The Storm Prediction Center has issued a slight risk covering over 8 million people across North Texas and western Arkansas. The bullseye for large hail is from Waco through Dallas-Fort Worth, up through the Choctaw Nation area of Oklahoma, and into Fort Smith, Fayetteville, Bentonville, and Russellville, Arkansas. Timing, storms fire up Wednesday afternoon around 4 to 5 p.m. local time and continue into Thursday morning. Peak intensity hits between 7 and 11 p.m. 2,000 joules per kilogram of convective available potential energy is fueling these storms. That is enough for scattered supercells. Dallas-Fort Worth, you are ground zero. Expect large hail, possibly 2 inches or bigger, and damaging wind gusts. The tornado threat Wednesday is lower but not zero. Thunder will roll as far north as Cincinnati, Indianapolis, and St. Louis, and as far south as Austin. If you are in this zone, have your safe room identified before sundown Wednesday. Thursday, the storm train does not stop, it intensifies. A 15% severe probability is highlighted across the southern plains from San Angelo through Abilene, Wichita Falls, and into Lawton, Oklahoma. Over 1 million people are in the risk zone. Here is what changes. Thursday is more tornado-friendly than Wednesday. A dry line setup is going to fire supercells during the afternoon, and surface dew points in the 50s and 60s combined with deeper wind shear create the ingredients for rotating storms. Timing: storms initiate along the dry line Thursday afternoon between 3 and 6 p.m. Supercells are most likely between 5 and 9 p.m. If you are between Amarillo and Oklahoma City, Thursday evening is your highest risk window. This is not a guaranteed tornado outbreak, but isolated tornadoes are definitely on the table. Now, here is the day I am most concerned about, and this is the part I promised you at the beginning. Friday, March 7th. Friday is the big one. A massive 15% risk area stretches from Dallas through Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Kansas City, and all the way into southern Iowa. 15 million people are inside this corridor. A strengthening mid-level jet is going to drive supercells that are more than capable of producing tornadoes. Here is your hour-by-hour breakdown. Storms initiate Friday afternoon between 2 and 4 p.m. across central Oklahoma and North Texas. There will be a small but critical window where discrete supercells form before merging into a massive squall line. Those supercells between 3 and 7 p.m. are the tornado producers. Watch them closely. By evening, the line consolidates and brings damaging straight-line winds, potentially 70 to 90 miles per hour. The threat does not end at sunset. As the low-level jet ramps up Friday night, more tornadoes are possible inside the squall line as it pushes into Tulsa, Kansas City, and potentially Jefferson City, Missouri, between 9 p.m. and 2 a.m. Saturday. Oklahoma City and Tulsa prepare for a long-duration event. Storms could initiate mid-afternoon Friday and not fully exit until Saturday morning. That is 12-plus hours of active weather. Do not let your guard down after dark. Some of the most dangerous tornadoes happen at night when you cannot see them coming. Have multiple ways to receive warnings. Saturday, round 4. Just when you think it is over, the cold front sags back southward into the Ozarks and the southern plains. Dallas-Fort Worth, you are under a severe weather threat for the third straight day. Saturday looks more like Wednesday, with the primary threats being damaging winds and large hail. The tornado threat is lower, but we cannot rule out 1 or 2. Storms develop Saturday afternoon and push through the evening hours. Now, here is another major danger that people are overlooking: flash flooding. All of these storms are training over the same areas repeatedly. The Weather Prediction Center is showing a bullseye of 7 inches of rain or more around Dallas up through Tulsa and Fort Smith. A broad area from northeast Texas through Arkansas, Oklahoma, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Ohio, and West Virginia could see 2 to 5 inches of total rainfall. Even drought-hardened soils cannot absorb that much water that fast. The Ozarks are especially vulnerable. If you live near a creek or a stream that tends to rise, this is the week to have a plan. Flash flood warnings will be flying alongside tornado warnings and severe thunderstorm warnings. Alert fatigue is real. Do not ignore the later warnings just because you have heard dozens already. Now let me touch on what happens after this storm train passes, because there is a signal for something even bigger around 10 days from now. Between March 10th and the 15th, models are showing a much more potent storm system crossing from west to east across the entire country. Cold air makes a strong push south from Canada, clashing with the lingering warmth. This could bring another round of severe weather on the warm side and potentially significant winter weather on the cold side, reaching into the Midwest, the Plains, the Great Lakes, and even the Northeast. I will have a full breakdown of that system as the data sharpens, so make sure you are following along. Here is what you need to do right now. If you are in the Northeast, check your travel plans for Tuesday. The icing and snow will make morning commutes dangerous from D.C. to Boston. If you are anywhere from Texas through Arkansas, Oklahoma, Missouri, Kansas, and into the Ohio Valley, you need a severe weather plan in place by Wednesday morning. Know where your safe room is. Have shoes and a helmet near your shelter area. Charge your devices. Download a reliable weather radar app and make sure your phone alerts are turned on. Do not rely on outdoor sirens, especially at night. And I want to hear from you. Drop a comment right now with the city or town where you are watching from, and I will make sure to cover your area in the next update with specific timing and threats for your location. The more I know about where you are, the better I can help you prepare. This is going to be one of the most active weeks of weather we have seen in months. 3 to 4 days of severe storms, a winter weather event, flooding, and then potentially another major storm system right behind it. Do not get caught off guard. And speaking of that next storm system around March 10th through the 15th, I am already seeing some signals in the data that could make it the most impactful storm of the entire month. Could it bring a late-season blizzard to the northern plains? Could it trigger another tornado outbreak? I will break it all down in the next video as soon as the models lock in. You do not want to miss that one. Stay safe out there, and I will see you in the next